because I can have a tendency to run my mouth. Albuquerque CSL, what's up? So are we ready? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. Because I'm gonna be pushing some buttons today, and just take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. So we're talking about this idea of, well, actually, you know what, I should probably start with, raise your hand if you are familiar with Star Wars. Okay, are you familiar with a particular show in the genre of Star Wars called Andor? Okay, so homework assignment. Close the doors real quick before they can leave. Homework assignment. Go to YouTube, type in the search, and look for a speech by Mothma. Got that? Meet with, okay, look, you want to make me spell it. M-O-N space M-O-T-H-M-A. Mothma. She's a senator. And the other one is Maarva Carrassi Andor. Now, the easiest thing for you to do probably will be to, I have no idea what he was talking about. I don't even know what he said. I know he said something about Star Trek, so I'm going to Star Wars. So, if you get lost or confused, just text me. I'll send you the link, then you can watch it. It's important. Now, it's important because one of the things we're talking about in this idea of, what's the thing? Spiritual rebellion, courage, and kinship. Okay, now oftentimes we hear this word rebellion and we, in New Thought, we push up against it, but it's important to be mindful and remember. There was a time that women could not vote, could not own property, could not do a lot of things, couldn't get a loan without the husband's signature. It's not that long ago. That was the law. There was a time not too long ago where it would very well be easy for me to go to certain places and that next morning you would find me hanging from a tree. Legally. Slavery. Jim Crow South. It was the law. It was legal. Not too long ago, it was legal to arrest LGBTQ individuals and get a lobotomy or institutionalized or something because being LGBTQ is deemed a mental disorder. It is an illness. And the law supported it. A rebel civil rights movement. Everyone who fought for the right for were rebels. The suffragists, rebels. What happened at Stonewall and henceforth, rebels. People who said, wait, what? What do you mean they can't vote? No, we have to do something about that. What do you mean they can't own property? No, we have to do something about that. What do you mean they're dropping bombs on? We have to do something about that. What do you mean they're not getting food? What do you mean they're not getting, what do you mean they're dying from? What do you mean by, we have to do something? That's the call of the world that works for all. To rebel against the collective consciousness that says you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're not light enough, you're not rich enough, you're not enough, because this thing called God has deemed you unworthy. You said, what now? Based on what? Based on a colonized idea of what religion and government and politics and capitalism and sexism and. So being in this thing called New Thought, do we have a new thought? So from this point forward, we will be calling this place no longer New Mexico. It is New Thought, Mexico. Simply because you are the rebels here who are anchoring the consciousness that says, so what is mine to do? How do I move forward and transform? Now I know. I've been there. Baby, I've been there. I know what it is to say it's too much work. How am I supposed to? I can't. Look, I got something to do on Monday. I ain't got time to save the world. I'm trying to figure out how to change my underwear. I don't know. understand. It has nothing to do with us as individuals. It has to do with us as family. Us as kinfolk. How do we gather together? See, if that which is, can I anthropomorphize God just for a second? Do I have your permission? Okay, thank you. Some of y'all look at me like 5 eyes and I don't know. I know, it's a lot. I know. So, in the Bible, it says, when God was creating stuff, and God said, let us make man in our image. Even in that language, it's about let us come together and create this. Even in the dogma of, the language is very clear. It takes all of us to come together, hand in hand, heart to heart, body to body, and evolve and transform. Are we willing to? Because see, it's easy to get locked into, but if they really knew me, and I'm not used to asking for help, and I don't like that people think I'm weak, and real weakness is having a need and not getting the need fulfilled so that you can thrive. That's actually weakness. Because you're giving up and giving in and saying, I have need for, let me just pull this out for a second. This delicious piece of chocolate. I have a need, I don't know why I need it, I don't know, but bear with me. I have a need for this thing called chocolate. But I don't want to ask Dino for it, because if I ask Dino for the chocolate, Dino gonna know that I need the chocolate. I don't want him to know, so I will do without. How often are we going through life saying, I need a hug, but I don't want to ask, so we do without? I need someone to just listen to me. I don't need counseling, I don't need prayer. I'm scared right now. Please just bear witness. And we don't even ask. We don't ask. We don't open. We don't dare be vulnerable. / dare be human. / dare be God. Because the moment we step into the awareness that what it is we are, then what is there to be afraid of or ashamed of or whatever about? It's simply the recognition that says, you know what, in this moment right now, I want some chocolate. So I'm going to ask, I saw you had some in your bag. If you don't mind, can I have a piece? Anybody got a tic-tac? Like, I'm going to ask. Because I really don't care if someone thinks that I'm weak. But Reverend Ray said, he's a reverend, he's a minister, I don't care. If I have need for, then I'm going to ask. That's one reason why in my grand scheme of this thing called life, I do my best to bear all. I tell people when the whole cancer diagnosis came down, it was on Facebook. Because I want people to understand, just because I do this thing called religious science doesn't mean I don't go through the days of, oh man, it's Monday. It happens. For whatever reason, it happens. Be present to it. Move through it. Rebel against the notion that says you need to be perfect based upon whoever they are. Usually it's some imagined idea of the them, the they, the boogeyman and his crew that says, it's sort of like a Gollum in Precious, my flesh. It's sort of like that idea. I know some of y'all don't get the Lord of the Rings reference. Text me. The idea is that we usually judge ourselves based upon somebody else's estimation of. You don't have enough money. Based on what? In comparison to who? Well, yes, based upon Oprah Winfrey. I don't care about Oprah Winfrey and how much money she got. Can I do what I need to do with the money that I have? Yes. Then I have more than enough. Is Oprah able to do what I can do with decoupage? No. So I'm more wealthy than she is when it comes to this, because I can decoupage everything, and it's beautiful. That's wealth. Being able to step into your talents, your gifts, your beauty, your divine grace. Not judging it based upon someone or something else. Because if that which is the divine, there is how many minds? There's only one mind, and that mind is God, and that mind is whose mind now? Your mind now. If that mind wanted to express as something other than you, it would have. But it expresses itself as you right now. That means it's perfect right now. There is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is living itself as you right now. That means, every morning when I wake up, Clarissa, every morning, as soon as I get out of bed, it's like, I stubbed my toe, I'm so clumsy. Then that means God is clumsy. Okay, fine, if that's where you're going to go, but recognize, even in the stubbed toe, you're still perfect. Even in the can't balance my checkbook, still perfect. Even in the I had diarrhea last Friday, still perfect. It doesn't matter what the doctor said, what the mom, dad, whoever said. It makes no difference. Your mind is God's mind. Your life is God's life. Not even God's life like God has it, owns it, but it is that which God is. Because nothing exists outside of it. So when we talk about doing the work, wax on, wax off. Please tell me you understood that reference. Okay, thank you. I got ready to get worried there for a second. So wax on, wax off. Daniel was waxing and washing cars, had no idea what he was doing. Painting the fence. Paint the fence. Paint the fence. Side, 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 side. Sand the floor. Sand the floor. I'm tired of doing the work. No, you're not doing work. You do karate. What do you mean it's karate? Wax on, wax off. Like that. No. Wax on, wax off. Paint the fence. I'm doing karate. I thought all I was doing was housework. I'm doing. And in that work is how we change the world. Right? Like that's the work of, well, okay, so where do we look around and say, what the world needs now, how do I bring it? The world needs decoupage, I don't know why, but I'll bring it. Find your gift, your talent, your thing, and bring it. Because whatever it is, literally, it is enough. It has to be. Now, 2 quotes, I think. 1, anybody familiar with a gentleman by the name of Musashi Miyamoto? If not, don't worry about it, text me. Musashi, one of the greatest swordsmen in Japan, said, you can only fight the way you practice. Reverend Ray's remix, you can only live the way you practice. See, oftentimes we break down. It's one of the things we're going to be talking about on Wednesday and Saturday of next week. Oftentimes we segregate and segment and say, this is prayer versus the way we live is prayer. The way you do your grocery shopping is prayer. The way you put on your shoes or your socks or makeup or glasses, all of that is prayer because it is how the universe is moving as you. There's no separation. So when you say good morning to someone, that is a blessing, it is a prayer, it is the word of God being bestowed upon another individualized expression of the one. Amen is not something we say at the end of a, and so it is not something we say at the end of a. Amen is how we show up. It's how we live. How we move and have our beingness in this thing called life. Quote number 2, also from Musashi Miyamoto. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Breathe that in. Everything is within. Everything exists right where you are. Seek nothing outside of yourself. You are it. Breathe. Because oftentimes we are told we're not good enough, we're not something enough, we can't be it. But you are. If God is all there is, then you're it. You're it. We are it. We have to be. Now that Star Wars reference I mentioned, I'll give you the reference from the first season of Andor when Maarva Andor she had died, and she was giving a post speech at her own funeral. Sorry, spoilers, and I'm not going to do the whole speech, but I want to point this out. She said, "And I've been turning away from the truth I didn't want to face. There is a wound that won't heal at the center of the galaxy. There is a darkness reaching like rust into everything around us, and we let it grow. And now it's here. The Empire," Darth Vader in them, "the Empire is a disease that thrives in darkness, and it is never more alive than when we are asleep. When we close our eyes and say, racism doesn't exist, sexism doesn't exist, homophobia doesn't exist, when we spiritually bypass, go into metaphysical malpractice, or any of those other things, that's what she's talking about. When we do that, we are giving those systems permission to thrive." Second quote. From season 2, when Senator Mothma gave a speech. She says, "The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil. When truth leaves us, when we let it slip away, when it is ripped from our hands, we become vulnerable to the appetite of whatever monster screams the loudest." And she's referencing Emperor Palpatine, who, for those who know Star Wars, you know who Palpatine is. When we choose to do our version of thoughts and prayers, there's another school shooting, thoughts and prayers. You know, gun violence isn't real anyway. The more you talk about it, the more, just stop talking about gun violence. Just stop talking about war. Just stop talking about racism, and it will vanish. If that was the case, it would already be gone. Homelessness, the unhoused, poverty, toxic capitalism, all of those things would already be gone if all it took was Clearly it takes more than that. We know this when it comes to our own lives. Raise your hand if you've ever been hungry. Have you ever been hungry? Or, you know, and I don't mean like hungry like I haven't eaten in a week. I mean like, oh, I haven't eaten since breakfast and my stomach's starting to, just general hunger. Okay, just general hunger. Could you make the hunger go away by not saying anything about it? Just go about your business. Ignore it. I have my stomach. Ray, are you hungry? No, hunger doesn't exist. Will it somehow vanish and be like, he said we don't exist? I know, so what's that mean? I guess we should just leave. But which exit do we use? It doesn't work that way. So if we know it doesn't work that way in our regular everyday lives, why would we think it works when it comes to world peace? Why would we think that somehow by magically frosted Lucky Charms, they'll heal the world of all ills? Like, how would we think that somehow, and yet many of us do? So this is our invitation to step into that place and say, in what way am I invited to be a rebel? In what way am I invited to push against the collective consciousness that says whatever that is that it says? whether it affects you personally or not. See, the New Thought version of the Good Samaritan is an individual who says, am I my brother's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper? Am I the keeper of my non-gender conforming, gender fluid, gender rich sibling? No, I am them and they are me. And so the Good Samaritan says, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And how may I be of service? You need some decoupage, don't you? Whatever it is, how do I supply it? So how do you step into being a rebel? Not just by yourself, but in collaboration. Luke didn't do it by himself. It was Luke, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and an entire village of people fighting against, standing in truth. How do you call upon your family, recognizing that there ultimately is nothing for you to fear? That thing we call courage, it is the awareness that you are the divine. And the more you know that you are the divine, what is there to fear? It's the ability to say, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the moment I cross this line, I know that somewhere they are going to want to end my life. But I have to cross it anyway. Because my life isn't life if it is not being lived for all. And courage says, especially for us, there's no such thing as death anyway. Ultimately, what is our we believe? This is my last thing because I know my time just went. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. We cannot die because God cannot die. So step into being courageous and brave. Be courageous and step into, can I borrow some chocolate? I ain't giving it back, but can I borrow some chocolate? I need a Tic Tac. I feel hungry. Right? Ask for what you need. And when you see the darkness coming in on someone, be the candle that shows up and says, excuse me, not on my watch. You will not say that to them on my watch. You can hit me. In fact, you can do whatever you need to do to this thing called flesh. Like Viktor Frankl said, you can harm my body, but the thing that is truly me, you can't touch. I am that which is and is ever expressing as me. Full stop. And so it is.